indeed his art of bowling leg spin trendy than Shane Warne. Those clothes, that hair, those ear studs, the whole package comes with this colourful Australian. I went down to the Rose Bowl, his adopted home at Hampshire last week, to talk to him, this taker of 517 Test match wickets and the man voted one of Wisden's 5 cricketers of the 20th century. And I began by asking him, why county cricket?
Yeah, I've always liked coming to England. I first came here in 1988, so I've been coming here for a long time. And I played my first league cricket in 1989 in Bristol. Had a great time down there, and I'm enjoying this year, captaining Hampshire. We've been off to a great start to the season. Lost against Gloucestershire in the C&G knockout, the 3rd round, which was a bit disappointing. But you know, we've played some great cricket so far this season. Hopefully, we can continue doing that.
You're playing in the 2nd division in the Championship and in the 1st division in the National League. How do you rate the standard? Because it gets talked down a bit in Australia.
Yeah, look, well, I've been coming for a lot of times. As I said, a long time I've been coming here and seeing lots of players. I think the standard is, I think, most sides have 2 to 3 good players, and then they have 1 or 2 good bowlers, and then the other guys not make up the numbers, but they contribute in certain ways, where mainly, you know, if you get 2 or 3 big wickets when you're bowling, that you can generally run through a side. I think where it, I suppose, falls down a little bit is the fast bowlers. You don't have too many out-and-out fast bowlers, and I think the main reason for that is just the amount of cricket you play. You play that much cricket that it's impossible as a fast bowler to run in every day or basically 4 or 5 days a week and steam in. You just can't do that. The other thing is spin bowling. I think the development of spin bowling, there's been lots of different ways to try and develop spin bowling, having more overs in a day, these sorts of things. But you know, April, May, trying to bowl leg spin or off spin is not that easy. First of all, you need a captain that understands spin bowling, and you need the climate, actually the sun to shine rather than rain, and the wickets aren't conducive to spin because they're quite slow at that time of the year. So those sort of areas I think will always trouble England because of the reasons I just said, the amount of cricket you play and the climate and the captains that captain some of the spin bowlers.
2003 was a sort of annus horribilis for you, particularly at home in Australia. And yet you've emerged from it, in your own words, as good a bowler as you ever were, looking unbelievably fit. Are there people that you've leaned on, either here or in Australia, that have helped you through that, or has it just been the strength of your own mind?
I think one of the things, obviously 2003 was an absolute shocker, basically. It was a terrible year, but for all sorts of different reasons. But I think one of the things I was very proud of is the way I came back in Sri Lanka. Obviously tough conditions to bowl, especially spin bowling. They play spin bowling quite well. To win that series 3-0 was a huge effort over there. It was boiling hot, raging turners, and they play spin well. So from a personal point of view, I really enjoyed just bowling the way I bowled. Yes, I got the wickets, but I was happy with the way I bowled, because sometimes you don't always get those wickets, as we know. But the way I bowled was good, and to win 3-0 over there was sensational. Was there anyone I really leaned on? I think basically it was more off-field issues that I had to sort out with my personal life. I did that. A few other guys like Ian Chappell, who I've been very good friends with over a long period of time, helped me out on a bit of cricket stuff and some other things as well. But I think when you're going through those sorts of things, you really have to sort the things out for yourself and work out what do you actually want in life and what's the most important thing to you. And I realised that the most important thing for me was my family. That's the most important thing. And so I had to change my ways. I had to work out that's what I wanted. And then for cricket side of things, I had to work out, did I really want to come back? Did I really want to keep playing international cricket? Did I want to have that focus thrust upon me and not achieve what I think I could achieve? And I was ready for it. You know, I love a challenge, and I always have. The harder it is, sometimes it brings out the best in me. So I don't know why, it just does. I'm pretty motivated by lots of different things, and you know, I just love a challenge, and I really enjoy that Sri Lankan trip, and I'm enjoying it here.
You're still officially retired from one-day international cricket. Might that change?
Well, I did say I was going to retire after the World Cup. I didn't say which World Cup I was going to retire, but I did say I was going to retire after the World Cup. So, you know, there's another one in 2007. We'll just have to wait and see. But at this stage, yes, I'm still retired from one days.
Let's talk about Australia for a second. It's been a golden decade, the decade that you've been so much a part of. Is this production line of extraordinary talent going to continue?
I think for the next 3, 4, 5 years it will. After that, I'm not sure, to be honest. I think we've got a wonderful range of players from about late 20s, around that sort of age, 27, 28, 29, that could play for another 5 or 6 years if something happened to the top team at the moment. You know, we've got the Brad Hodges, David Hussies, Mike Hussies. You know, we've got lots of others, Kadich, Lehman, all these sort of guys that are in and out of the side. Lehman's probably established himself now, and so he should, because he's a wonderful player. We've got a lot of these other guys, Andrew Simons, all these guys that could play. Shane Watson, Michael Clark, who's 23 here at Hampshire. We've got so many, Stuart Law, that, you know, we've just got so many players that could play. But after that, looking at the young 20, 21-year-olds, I mean, I can only think of really Michael Clark at the moment, who's under 25, that we've got coming up, who's an excellent player already. I mean, Michael Clark's an absolute, I think he's the best young player since Ricky Ponting. I really believe that, and he's going to have a big future. He's already done well in one-day cricket, and he'll do well at test level. But once that sort of age bracket we're talking about goes to 34, 35, and then we're looking at the young 21, 22-year-olds, I'm not seeing a lot of them around at the moment. So I think in around 5 years, it'll be an interesting time for Australian cricket.
Outside of the kind of raw talent that you've just alluded to, is there any secret to the success of this side?
I think when it all gets down to it, I think most teams generally have similar ability. There might be some sides where someone that's got an exception, like an Adam Gilchrist, who's unbelievable keeper batsman, coming in at number 7. So if you pit him against the opposition keeper, he's going to win hands down. But generally the batters are similar in talent. It all gets down to how much you're prepared to work, how much you're prepared to the little things, and just how far you're about to push yourself and back yourself, and that mental toughness to say, well, I'm better than you. And just to go out there and, no matter who it is, to have that body language, that intimidation. I think as a group and as a unit, we intimidate sides. But at times, those tough moments, I think we've won them. The tough moments in a test match, when it's up in the air, it's there to win. Whether it be a drop catch, or someone to take a screamer, or take a run out, or just something. I think whether we have that happy knack or that lucky thing to do that, or whether it's just belief that we can do it, that somebody wants the ball to come to them to change the game, to take that one-handed screamer, to throw the stumps down and run someone out, or to stand there and say, you're not going to get me out. I don't care if I'm here all day, you're not getting me out. I just think we've got that toughness about us, and no matter what the situation is, we still believe we can win.
Through the ability, unique ability to bowl leg spin as well as you have done, you were chosen as one of the 5 Wisden cricketers of the century. Now that really is boyhood dream stuff. Where does it come from? When do you wake up and think, gee, I can rip it when I bowl wrist spin?
No idea. I always wanted to be Dennis Lilly, or Ian Chappell, had my collar up. And leg spin to me, I suppose, when I was growing up, we had Terry Jenner, Kerry O'Keefe, a few of these guys, Jim Higgs, who were in and out of the side. We had Abdul Qadir from Pakistan. But I never really thought I want to be like them or anything like that. To me, I just ran in and tried to bowl as fast as I could, and that hurt. So I said, I don't want to do that. And then I tried to keep, and I couldn't stand up close to the stumps because I was scared the bat was going to hit me when I was trying to keep. So I didn't like that. Then I was trying to bat, and I did pretty good as a batsman. And so I said, oh, I'll keep trying to do this. And I just batting, and then I was mucking around with what can I do. And used to be a guy at our local club that bowled off spin and leg spin. And I used to watch it spin a bit both ways, and I thought, gee, that looks a bit interesting. So I mucked around with it and fiddled around with it. Never was any good. And it wasn't till around, I don't know, it was about 19 or 18 or 19 that I suddenly got picked in the first grade as basically a batsman that could bowl a little bit of spin. So I used to bat at number 6 or 7 and just bowl a little bit of this stuff. And I took wickets and made some runs early in my career at first grade. And then I got thrown into first class cricket after basically 3 games or 4 games, and did okay without doing sensational. And then at the start of the following year, I had a couple of good games of first class cricket, and I got picked for Australia. And I got whacked around all over the place.
Shocking start.
And made an absolute terrible start. Got smashed all over the park for about a year. And then spoke to guys like Terry Jenner and Ian Chappell and said, what do I need to do to become a test cricketer? How can I improve? And we talked about fitness, we talked about bowling, we talked about batting, catching, just cricket in general, with Ian Chappell, Terry Jenner, Rod Marsh a lot. And went to Sri Lanka in '92 and helped win a test match. Greg Matthews won the test match there in '92. I got a couple of wickets at the end, came back, got in and out of the side for a little bit, and then got picked '92 Boxing Day against the West Indies, and got 7 for 50 in Melbourne. There was about 80-odd thousand there. And from there, it's all been pretty good, except for an odd little blitz here or there, but it's been pretty good since then.
How much of it is in here and in here?
Well, in your head, you have to outthink the batsman. You have to outthink them. You've got to be a step ahead. You've got to have a plan. If you haven't got a plan and you're just hoping to spin the ball and hopefully someone will hit one up in the air, you won't go any good. You might get lucky a few times, but you have to have a plan. Once you've got a plan and it's not working, then you've got to show a bit of ticker too, because you know, as a spinner, it can be quite embarrassing. Everyone hitting you for 6, and especially as a young kid, you know, all your mates, how far did that bloke hit you? Or you got another ball because he got hit out of the park. So you need a bit of love too, and you need a bit of love from your captain. You need a bit of love from your coach and your family and all your mates you're playing with. So that's as a young kid, but you've got to have, you've got to have a bit of ticker, bowl and spin, no matter if it's off spin, leg spin, whatever, because it's not easy. You can bowl a half tracker, you can bowl full bungers. Sometimes they can get wickets, but it can be embarrassing sometimes.
The incomparable Shane Warne. More from him after the break when he gets a bit spicier with, in particular, his thoughts on Muthaiya Muneratharan.